Welcome to Echoes of Faith, the podcast that brings you closer to the heart of Faith Baptist Church in Taylors, South Carolina. I'm your host, Caleb Phelps, and I'm excited to take you on a journey through the vibrant and growing community of Faith Baptist, where I have the privilege of being the senior pastor. Each episode of Echoes of Faith is a window into the life of our church family, where we explore the faith, stories, and events that shape us. From powerful sermons to heartwarming testimonies, from community outreach to spiritual growth, we will cover it all. Join me as we dive deep into the echoes of our faith, resonating through the halls of Faith Baptist Church and beyond. And don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter, also named Echoes of Faith, for a weekly dose of inspiration and updates. Get ready to be inspired, encouraged, and uplifted from the Word of God. This is Echoes of Faith, where faith comes alive. Well, it's hard to believe, but it's already VBS announcement season. If you've been with us here at Faith Baptist in Taylor, South Carolina, you have noted that the last several weeks at our ministry, we have already begun to announce the upcoming Vacation Bible School, which will be taking place here at our church in the evenings on June 23rd through 26th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. This is our second year doing a VBS like this, and we had such a great time last year and saw souls saved and actually eventually members added and baptized in our church as a result of the efforts that went forward last summer. So we're really excited about the opportunity to do it again this year, but with a very different theme. This year, we have introduced and written our own new theme. We're so thankful for Jeremiah Gould for doing all the artwork for this, and that is our Dinosaur Olympics. And yes, that is very unique. I doubt you've ever seen a Dinosaur Olympics VBS, but there's a reason for that Dinosaur Olympics, and the reason for that is, first, it's an Olympic summer, so you got to take advantage of having Dinosaur Olympics on an Olympic summer. But secondly, the reason that we're having a Dinosaur Olympic themed VBS is because of the man I'm so excited to be able to introduce to you today. And this man is actually going to be joining us here at Faith Baptist as we do the Dinosaur Olympics for Kids. In addition to the Dinosaur Olympics for Kids, we will be having something called the Creation Investigation. And with us will be Dino Dave Woetzel. And yes, that is his nickname. And that is the reason why we are calling it the Dinosaur Olympics, because if you have Dino Dave in, you have to have a dinosaur-themed Olympics, or dinosaur-themed VBS, rather, of some kind. And so I'm so pleased today to be able to have Dino Dave with us, because you may know something of VBS, but you may not know who Dave Woetzel is or what the Creation Investigation is. And so I've invited Dave to join me today and talk a little bit about that. I'm going to let him introduce himself and his family and his heart for ministry. And so thank you, Dave, for joining us. I'm going to put you on the screen here so you can introduce yourself to our listeners and watchers. But Dave, thank you for joining us here today.
Well, Pastor Caleb, I'm excited to be able to join the folks at Faith there to minister together with you guys this summer. I can't say I've ever been part of a dinosaur Olympic theme before, but hey, it sounds like a lot of fun. I'm excited to be with you guys. I live up in Concord, New Hampshire, where, believe it or not, we just had an April monster snowstorm. And so we're here digging out from under. But with technology, I'm able to visit with you for a few minutes,
Yes.
and just so excited to be able to join with the folks down there and talk about my passion for these kind of creatures that I've got in the background behind me here, these great creatures that God made to show his power and his glory.
You have really become known as Dino Dave because of a fascination with dinosaurs, and just Creation Investigation itself suggests a little bit of what you are passionate about. How is it that you became fascinated with such studies?
Well, I have to give some credit to the Boston Museum of Science. When I was way back in ninth grade, I went on a field trip down there. And at that time, probably still the case, they have a wonderful Triceratops skeleton there. And as a young man, I remember just being in awe of bones. And people are amazed. I mean, old people, young people, everybody loves dinosaurs. It just never gets old. And I saw these bones, and I'm telling you, Brother Caleb, I was just like in awe. And then I looked down at the bottom there, and there's this plaque, and it says, "This dinosaur died out 65 million years ago."
Mm.
And I just remember being upset that they would, go from the bones, which is the science that's observable, to somebody's interpretation somebody's worldview, which is totally speculation. I mean, nobody was there. And so I got a little bit agitated and I actually got into a debate there at the Boston Museum of Science. So I kind of started on this trajectory, and I went on and got an undergraduate degree in physics and then a master's in biology, actually from Clemson University, not too far from you folks.
Hmm.
And For the last 15, 20 years, I've been going around speaking on creation, evolution, apologetics, and my friends, the dinosaurs.
Now, you said 15 years of speaking on these creation investigation type seminars. You've also done, if anybody wanted to visit you and see you online, although I imagine some already have, you've done some exciting trips to explore some of your favorite creatures. Can you tell us a little bit about those dino trips that you've done over the years?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, obviously the bones are great, and we can learn a lot just from digging up bones and putting together skeletons, and we can understand from eggs and footprints and some of these things quite a bit. But there's a possibility, and I'm a scientist, so I always want to wait and kind of keep my powder dry until we actually confirm something with a live specimen. There's actually a possibility there could be some of these creatures out there today in very remote places. So I've been to places like the Bolivian Amazon. I've been to the border of Cameroon and Congo. I've been to Papua New Guinea, been to Madagascar. Some of these places, I'm telling you, they just are finding new species almost every year. Now, a lot of times there's small things like a frog or a lizard or some kind of bug. But the world's a big place.
Yeah.
And I want to actually, on one of our nights, I want to actually talk about some of my trips, show some video footage, show some pictures about some possible relic species, possible living dinosaur creatures that might still be out there today.
Yeah, that is an amazing uh, thing that you have been a part of for years now, doing this. Now you call them the creation investigation, and what are we investigating exactly at a creation
So we'll
investigation?
talk about some topics like how do we answer atheists? That we're
Mm.
increasingly in a pagan, non-churched society, a godless society. And so it becomes more common to run across someone that just has no religious background whatsoever. So we'll talk about how do we answer atheists? We'll talk about should creation be taught in the schools? Talk about some of the history of the controversy a little bit. We'll talk about some of the problems with evolution. We'll talk about the unique conditions on the early Earth,
Mm.
just very different in some ways from today. And we can learn some of it from the fossils and some of it from God's Word. But we'll talk about that. And then we'll talk about the flood. I mean, how do we get these fossils like this behind me? This is from the Great Flood of Noah's day. And we'll talk about that. How did it happen? Could it all have happened in 1 year? Yes, it could happen. We
Mhm.
got some exciting new evidences that it's a fun time to be a creationist.
Yeah,
So we'll talk about some of that stuff. And but we'll begin and end every evening with the Word of God. So there will be a challenge, but there will be also a lot of scientific evidence, some exciting creation models, and we'll just have a great time visiting and talking about God's great creation.
now you've been doing it again for so many years. You obviously have a particular goal in starting it and continuing the creation investigation. And as we prepare as a church to partner with you, we want to be prepared the same way. We want to share the same goal and heart and vision for this. What is your goal for doing the creation investigation? What is it that you hope people who come to this will go away thinking about?
Well, ultimately, I truly believe that God is seeking to show His power and greatness. That's what theologians call general revelation. So we're wowed by the world, we're wowed by the cosmos, so we're awed by the incredible sophistication in a single cell and the DNA, and but even dinosaurs like this, huge T-Rex behind me, people are just amazed by these things, and I believe that we should be using the beauty and wonder of our creation to glorify our great creator. And frankly, it bothers me that the evolutionists have hijacked the dinosaurs and really used them to sell a godless theory of origin. So I want folks to go away with a fresh wonder and awe at the greatness of our creator, but also to have their faith strengthened and be able to answer people that might come at them with a very different worldview, allowing us to better engage people around about us.
Mm. You know, one of the things I started even today, and for those that were with us last summer, one of the goals we had and one of the joys we had from VBS was the joy of seeing souls saved. Eventually, even people added to our church as a result of the efforts last summer. And because of that, we have had these invite cards here that many people have already been starting to pass out. And this says the Dinosaur Olympics. And then on the inside, it's got information about the adult session that you'll be teaching and our schedules and some of the sessions you'll be going through. And we've already been encouraging folks to grab these and pass them out. In fact, so far as I was told, even last week, we've had to do 2 prints of this already because people have been so excited about passing these out, inviting friends. So we've got already lots of people inviting friends to join them for the VBS. And some are joining them for the kids side, but many are joining them because of the adult sessions. Even if they don't have kids, I still think they should be coming to these because it's pretty powerful. I'll go ahead and give personal testimony to that. We've had you at my former ministry in Florida for sessions such as this, and there were some nights we had more adults than kids just because of how good the adult sessions are. But as people are passing out those invite cards and inviting their friends to join them, what are some ways that you would encourage them to share with their friends why they could tell their friends they need to join them for this creation investigation coming up June 23rd to the 26th?
Well, let me talk about believers and unbelievers because the approach might be a little bit different. So for
Sure.
believers, perhaps there's some friends of yours that haven't been faithful in going to church, maybe even they've slipped away from their service of the Lord, but they're probably saved. But this might be a great chance to have their faith encouraged,
Mm.
especially teens, young adults. These young people are going to go off into academia and they're going to have a lot of secular humanism thrown at them. So part of my passion is to inoculate young people against the lies that are going to get thrown at them in higher academia.
Mm.
But then even as far as unsaved people go, so we want to strengthen the faith of believers. But then for unsaved people, this is an awesome segue into the gospel. We will be giving out the gospel, and we will be ending, with a Bible challenge every single night. But think about how many times maybe you might invited people, but they're just a little shy about coming to church. And as much as we know Pastor Caleb does a great
Mm.
job, and we'd love to get them there, they might not be quite, so interested in coming to church, but maybe something like a talk on science might just be that which kind of breaks the ice, allows them to come on in and hear, and you can use me as an excuse. I mean, this crazy guy, Dino Dave, believes dinosaurs might still be alive. He's going to share some of his trips, some of his journeys.
Mm.
And this is even just a hot topic out there in the news. Should creation be taught in the schools? What about, how old is the earth? We'll talk about these kinds of things. This is
Mm.
active areas of dialogue in our society, and people are interested in this type of thing
Mm.
that might not be quite so open to coming out just for a worship service on Sunday.
Yeah, just you've been covering some of those sessions, and we've listed some of those session titles, and they are intriguing. It says "Absolute Truth in a Postmodern World." You've got one on answering atheists. So many other things that I trust people will take advantage of when they're inviting friends. Now, I want to get back to an original topic because it still is a fascination to me. I don't know if people realize just how much you've invested in what you are doing now. Like, we're going to see you come in for the creation investigation, but you've invested a lot of man hours personally into becoming an authority on this topic. Not only did you already mentioned you went to Clemson, which is, I think, going to ingratiate yourself to this community because we have a lot of Tiger fans. We also have some USC fans, but they can still come, right? We'll encourage them to
Yes.
come one way or the other. But those trips, I just wanted to come back to that a little bit because that is so unusual. Like anytime I've already been talking to people about Huge coming and they've gone and visited your website. Which, by the way, can you tell us where we can find you online before you answer that?
Sure, sure. So my speaking, I have dinodave.com,
Okay.
but then my research is at
Okay.
genesispark.com. So it's kind of like Jurassic Park, but Genesis Park. And as Pastor Caleb said, I've had this opportunity now for a number of years to literally travel to every single hot spot. And just, everyone's familiar with Loch Ness, but because I throw that out there because you're familiar with it, but I actually don't think the odds are really great there. But we'll be talking about places like Papua New Guinea, where the natives talk about a creature that flies around at night that has leathery wings and has like a long beak with teeth in it and a long tail. It's a perfect description of a pterodactyl. I've been there multiple times and actually seen something. We'll talk about what I've seen. We're
Hmm.
getting ready in January to go back to Cameroon. And I truly think we may have a game changer here because every trip that's gone down there, they go through these rivers and these swamps with an outboard engine. They make a lot of noise. They scare a lot of the wildlife around. We're going to, for the first time, go at it with an electric motor. And the technology is good enough now where you can have some folded solar panels to recharge your batteries, and you can get the distance. So we're really excited about maybe a big breakthrough in discovering a creature that the natives call Mokele mbembe.
Wow. You said that's this January?
Yeah, that's January. Yeah, so in less than a year, I'll be headed out there, and we're going to be gone for probably 3 weeks into this massive swamp area. This swamp, this river swamp area is about the size of the state of Arkansas, so it's just massive. And the pygmies live on the periphery of it, but like there's just a lot of area that nobody's even explored.
So it's possible you're going to have some news stories to share with us this summer based on that trip, if that's this
Yeah,
January. Yeah.
yeah, we're putting the pieces together, and it's going to be exciting. And so we'll take any volunteers. We've got some kids that want to come for us. We, be happy to take them along as bait.
We'll have to see what forms you'd have to sign for the parents to be able to sign them up for that. Now, I mean, that alone, I wanted to come back to because it really does draw people's attention to who you are and what you're doing. And in many ways, you may not want to toot your own horn, so I'll toot your horn for you to say, like, you are really an expert on this field. You've also authored some books that will likely have available for folks. Can you tell a little bit about some of the books that you've authored as well?
Right. So the first book that I did is called Chronicles of Dinosauria. It's kind of more for teens and adults. It's a little more technical, but it's about my research and really a biblical perspective on the great reptiles. So most dinosaur books that you buy for kids or even the serious books for adults, it's going to give you millions and millions of years of evolution. It's just kind of part and parcel of it. It's built right in, baked in. So this is a book from a biblical perspective, honoring God as creator, talking about the flood and really stepping through the dinosaurs called Chronicles of Dinosauria. And then more recently, just the last couple of years, kind of my COVID project, we've been doing books called Dino Dave's Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an adventures in apologetics. Each story has a little apologetics theme, and it's just kind of the same types of things that I share with adults about the flood and creation, and but it's just packaged for kids in little bite size, great for Sunday school, for junior church, for family altar, even for homeschoolers. So we'll have those are soft cover books, and we'll have some there at a really great price. Some resources for you to avail yourself of.
We have a whole lot to look forward to. We just based on last summer's VBS, there's already some positive momentum and excitement about it. And I wanted to do this video to get people excited and talking not just about what we have available for kids, but also what we have available for adults. Before I come back to you, I want to make sure people understand that this is a two-part program. We have something for the children that will, and everything starts from 6:30, goes to 8:30. There's something for mom and dad. There's something for people with kids, without kids, frankly, and that's what Dave Woetzel will be here for the adult sessions, the creation investigation. The kids will come in, we'll start together in the auditorium as we did last year. We have a great high energy opening ceremony, and then the kids are dismissed. They've got different sessions. In a later video, I'll actually hope to interview the man that will be speaking to the kids so you can get to know him a little bit better. But while the kids are away and before they come back in for another high energy closing ceremony, Dave will be speaking to the adults in these creation investigation seminars. And we're preparing and praying that God would see souls saved, that disciples would be strengthened through this. But we also want to be praying for you, Dave, as you prepare for that. So how can we as a church family be praying for you in advance of you joining us this June?
Well, no, I do appreciate folks praying. I've got a really busy summer. I've got a number of sessions. I'm going off to Manitoba, Canada here this next week, and then I've got some other opportunities internationally as well as a whole bunch of. I'll be speaking at the Wilds. I'll be speaking at different camps. So it's going to be a really busy summer. So I appreciate prayers for that. But then also in June, hoping to slip away to a location where we're actually doing field research, looking for a living pterosaur. And wouldn't it be exciting just to be the one that could capture one of these creatures? Because a picture's not going to be good enough, especially if it's a nocturnal creature.
Yeah.
We really are hoping to actually got net guns, we've got tasers, and we're hoping to maybe be able to get a capture of one of these creatures. and to be able to talk about the greatness of our Creator, that God made men and dinosaurs together right on day 6, literally from day 6, the first day of man on this planet. Men and dinosaurs have coexisted together,
Hmm.
and they still do today. So the dinosaur thing is
Did,
important. It's the shtick. It's what gets the attention. But we'll also have some really rigorous arguments. We'll have some really thought-provoking arguments on theism versus atheism, on the origins debate, evolution versus creation. It's just exciting new evidence for design that's coming forward in science. But then also even we'll go through the biblical model of the flood, and I really know
wow.
folks will enjoy it. And please invite someone. You'll be so glad when we get together that you did, because it's going to be a wonderful time together.
Did you just say you're doing another trip this June? Is that what
Yeah,
you
this
said?
will be a brief one, but we
Okay.
actually have a place where we've got folks kind of eyewitnesses on the ground, where they're seeing these creatures every few weeks, and so it's still low odds. It's gonna have to be a God thing. So I'd appreciate the prayers,
Yeah.
but wouldn't it be fun if I had some fresh stuff to be able to share with you guys?
That feels like old black and white, King Kong movie. Like maybe Dave will come with one on display at our VBS, and if that happened, man, we would pack the pack the place out. But we are thrilled that you're joining us. There are some in our church that have heard you before, and because of that, they are already kind of excited and talking to their friends about who you are and what you'll do. I obviously have heard you before, and because of that, I'm very excited to have you here. This is going to be, I just know, it's going to be an amazing week, and I'm so thankful that you could join us for that. Again, June 23rd through June 26th. For parents that are watching, we will do a video with the speaker for the kids here in the coming weeks. And the registration for the children's side is open on our website. If you just go to our website there, the main page, you'll find the registration right there. And you can begin to register your kids for that. And you can start inviting your friends. If you're in town and you'd like to grab one of these invite cards that I mentioned earlier, and you want to show them off and kind of invite friends and maybe even be informed a little bit more about what Dave will be speaking on, as well as information about what the kids will be doing, that is all in this brochure. But thank you, Dave, for joining us, and just wanted to give you one more chance to give a parting word and plug for the creation investigation that you'll be doing when you're with us.
Well, I want folks to know I'll be bringing some fossils, some dinosaur related paraphernalia, as well as having the books down there. And so we'll have some show and tell as we go along the way. I'll have actual video footage from some expeditions. We'll have a lot of fresh evidence for design. So this is going to be just a real engaging, visually stimulating, a lot of PowerPoint.
Mm.
I think it's going to be very informative. Please be there. Don't wait till the energy builds day by day. Be there day one through the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
and every evening is going to be a session that's unique, have its own message, its own theme, and they literally will build day by day by day. Don't miss it.
All right. Well, I'm going to say the same thing. Don't miss it. And we are thrilled for our Vacation Bible School this summer, and so excited about what God is doing here at Faith Baptist in Taylor, South Carolina. By the way, Caleb Frisky, our new children's ministries pastor, will be here that summer. He'll get jumped into the deep end of the pool for the VBS. He'll only just have got started, and pray for him as he joins us here in the coming month, actually. And then as we look forward to Vacation Bible School and Dino Dave being with us, we hope that you'll be a part of that here at Faith. Thank you for watching this week's Echoes of Faith. I hope it's been informative to you as you look forward to our summer programs here.